brothers and sisters, I got to turn on the live streaming. Let us sing the prayer song, Sincere Piousness.
My heart, I feel deep gratefulness. All my heart is filled with sincere prayer. From all corners of the world, let us join our hearts and pray for a world of harmony and peace. From my heart, I pray, may we join our hands, our hearts as one. Spread the seeds of great love, nurture wisdom evermore. Let us fill the world with hope. In my heart, I feel deep gratefulness. May all the Buddhas know my prayer. All united with one heart, let us end our hate with love. May there be no suffering hereafter.
May all minds be purified. May there be peace in the community. May there be no disaster in this world. Before we hear the wonderful sharings, let us invite our Buddha Masters to lead us in paying homage to the Triple Gems. Let us pay our respects for these teachings and explanations to the Buddha and Master Ching by making 3 sincere bows. Please rise, palms together. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. And a bow to our beloved Buddha Masters who could join us today. Okay, today we have Sister Yvonne and Sister Moon who will be sharing with us. Before we start, let us invite Sister Ching for the weekly summary. Over to you, Sister Ching.
Good morning, everyone. Give me a sec. Okay. Last week we had Brother Michael, and he was sharing about the disaster response to Typhoon Rai. The Philippines attracts around 20 typhoons a year. These typhoons do not discriminate and strikes even during festive cheers. Last December, notwithstanding a planned trip to Taiwan to see Master, Brother Michael stayed back to attend to the survivors of yet another such disaster. Between meetings, arrangements, and volunteer and victim engagements, Brother Michael himself caught the COVID virus and was again restricted in his movements. Undeterred and instead thankful for the booster shots that he has received, he recovered fast and was relieved that he can quickly return and roll up his sleeves. After the dust has settled and homes have received their respective assistance, it was not difficult to recruit volunteers who have witnessed or participated in the experience. Blessing events were held to officiate the registration of new members. The energy of the congregations were high from the volunteers who came in numbers. Forging a spirit of community and fellowship, people were inspired to give as they had received, by strangers without an expectation of return, putting their hearts at ease. So one good deed touches another, and the other extends it forward until one day we know. The great tree of life becomes much stronger as Titi has enabled the roots of goodness to grow. This is the summary of how a disaster has wrapped up to a very special ending. And more importantly, for many people, it has set the base for a very special beginning. Then Brother Johan came on. Last week, Brother Joe spoke of the one true path to enlightenment and the various learnings in our spiritual development. The various learnings are the skillful means, which, if one is wise, can pick and choose depending on the situation and origin. Skillful means the ability to adapt and be flexible, to know which way, when, and how, to do or say to someone so they can understand either later on. In careful analysis, the skillful means and the one true path are one and the same. The one true path requires one to accommodate, so skillful means is just another name. Essentially, leaving one place to another at the borderline, the place is identical. Tune in to the YouTube link for more elaborations as Brother Joe explains the sutra. Brother Joe's explanation of the sutra gets more technical. Thank you so much for listening to me. I'll pass over to Sister Ching to introduce the next speaker. Thank you again.
And Sister Ching for another most wonderful summary. Wow. Okay, also to Sister Lilia for the great opening. Very grateful. And good morning, brothers and sisters. Very grateful to all your presence and support. Today we look forward to sharing by Sister Yvonne on never slacking Bodhisattva. Sister Yvonne, this part telling stories is the new field of blessings that it's open to all the English group volunteers global worldwide, where everyone after listening to either the morning 7 o'clock listen at morning volunteer talk or Saturday or Sunday, all the wonderful sharings by Brother Joe or Brother David. Please feel free to share with us your insights. And then we are also very grateful to Sister Moon, who is going to host the interactive session for us today. Both of them are the diligent Pusat reminded me of today's Master's insights that we are watching this morning. Master asks us to be grateful and respectful to everyone so that we can treat everyone as Buddha and make offerings to everyone. We work with each other harmoniously, making each other happy. We gather our strength to help others. Aren't we interacting with Buddha every day? Wow. So I could see this in every day, and these two sisters. So we look forward to them bringing joy to all these Buddhas on this morning, on today's morning, Saturday Hualien session. Okay, over to you, Sister Yvonne. And we look forward.
Sister Ching, just give me a moment to share the screen.
Okay.
Can you all see?
Sister, your PC icons are.
Wait, wrong one. Okay. Wrong one. Okay. Can?
Okay, ready.
Yes.
Just to enlarge it only, sister. Great.
Okay. Didn't see my presenter view.
No, it's perfect.
All right. Thank you. Okay. A very good morning to all brothers and sisters. Candour to Sister Ching for giving me the opportunity to share in this platform. What I'll be sharing today is the output of translation work done by the English Pure Heart translation team. And for this particular session, I will be leveraging on Sister Hui Yang's awesome piece of work done on Master Teli Sermon held on 17 February 2022. Okay, and before I dive into the main topic, I would like to share a bit about the birth of this EG Pure Heart translation team. And also, I would like to share a quote that I come across WAD, Wisdom at Dawn, episode 1004, which resonated very much how this translation team came about. So I would just like to read on it. Anywhere the Buddhas like riches, there must have been affinities in the past. By giving and receiving it all depends on causes and conditions. As soon as we receive the light, we can all see one another. As soon as we hear the Dharma, hear the principle, we realize that our hearts share the same aspirations. When we are moved, this means we true principles have manifested. So these Pure Heart teams cover translation for Volunteers Morning Assembly, Brother Joe 7 a.m. session, Brother David Liu's 8 p.m. session, Sunday 8 p.m. session, and any ad hoc request that comes in it. This translation team motto is practice with ease with 3 guided principles: pure heart, pure thoughts, and pure action. So let me begin how it started. So this is Sister Hui Yang here. It started sometime in August last year during Brother Joe's 7 a.m. session talk. On that particular day, the Dharma light shined on Sister Hui Yang. She was awakened by Brother Joe's question of what can we do more? So this led her to contact Sister Ching that she wished to contribute as a translator. Sister Ching cherished these affinities that had matured. So she bounces idea with few of the Sing Fa Xiang sister on how to take this forward. And since all these Sing Fa Xiang sister that has been nourished by Master Daily Dharma, of course, all of them demonstrated the courage of a lion. And all of them said, let's do it. So that's how the birth of this translation team came about. So actually the big benefactor of this team is actually Brother Joe Huang. There are many learnings I have gained through this setup. Primarily, the most important part is the beauty of Sister Ching's broad and inclusive heart. She will accept anyone to the team, no discrimination, no qualification required. The only thing is you have the willing heart to serve. So this beautiful heart of Sister Ching allow many of us to grow along the way. And the other learnings through this journey are the application of master teaching, which is to practice with ease, being joyful of good work done by others, and work in harmony. And all these were demonstrated by all the sisters in the team. They cover each other when one is not available for duty, always full of praise and joy for one another when a good piece of translation work is done. So if back to the origin, Candour Brother Joe for shining the Dharma light on us so that we can all see one another and realize our hearts share the same aspiration. That is to bring and spread master teachings to the English-speaking group via this translation effort. So this is a little bit story about this, how this translation team came about. Okay, so back to the main topic. Master Teli's sermon she structured it along on this never slighting Bodhisattva along this following main topic. The context on why NSB was chosen as a sermon, the appearances of NSB, for short, never slighting Bodhisattva, the background and his cultivation methods, reflection on self, master explanation on NSB cultivation method, and the key takes away. So I will start with the context of today's sharing. So today's sharing is a recap of what should be the attributes of an ideal disciple of our master. The ideal attributes that master had envisioned for her disciple to have are taught in chapter 20 of the Lotus Sutra on never slighting Bodhisattva. These Bodhisattvas are often mentioned by Master Ching. And so let us look at the attributes and the role model for us to emulate in our spiritual cultivation. And before diving into NSB as our role model, Master Teli also shared on the benefits of upholding Lotus Sutra and the heavy retribution of one that slandered the sutra. That is, one that slandered the sutra would get heavy retribution. And the parable of the burning house also says, these believers who slander Lotus Sutra will have their Buddha seats in the world be severed. Truly, it is a scary retribution. On the contrary, those who cultivate the 5 merits of upholding, reading, reciting, chanting, explaining, and writing about Lotus Sutra will attain the purity of the 6 root. And the 6 root are namely eyes, ears, nose, tongue, mouth, and body. So we will proceed to chapter 2 on the topic 2. Okay. According to the sutra, never slighting Bodhisattva appeared during the Dharma Resemblance age. NSB was one who respected and gave praises to all bhikshus, bhikuni, upasaka, and upasika. He would say, I respect all of you deeply. Never will I take light of you, because all of you can become Buddha if you practice the Bodhisattva path. And he doesn't just chant and recite sutra, but perform ritual prayers and prostration. And according to Master, our Grandmaster Yingshun, highlighted in the cultivation method of NSB, it's not that he never read or recite sutra, but he allocated more time to ritual prayers, prostration, and gave praise and respect to everyone around him. So don't take lightly on prostration and giving praise to the people around us. And just to share, for those who are not aware, bhikshu and bhikshuni are monastic practitioners. Upasaka and Upasika are lay practitioners. The bhikshus, bhikuni, Upasaka, and Upasika, who were given praise by NSB, were very angry and doubtful with him. They were scolded and insulted him in this way. You, wisdom-learned bhikshu, who are you to bestow prediction on us? You are not Buddha. I don't need your deluded predictions. And how he reacted? Instead of giving rise to anger or talking back, NSB would just reply, you will become Buddha. And whenever he said that, people will hit him with sticks, throw stone at him. But NSB will respond even louder. I don't dare to disparage you, any of you, for all of you can become Buddha one day. So NSB was treated harshly like that for several years, but he remained respectful and courteous to them. So what are the benefits of upholding the Lotus Sutra? Master shared that never slighting Bodhisattva reaped 8 types of benefits. He's able to uphold Lotus Sutra upon listening to it, able to attain purity of 6 senses, attain additional longevity, able to tame evil people with heavy habitual tendencies, able to guide people onto the right Dharma path, able to abandon the physical body and abide in the states of Buddha, never give rise to fear while expounding the Dharma, and able to attain Buddhahood.
Sister Yvonne?
Yep.
Can I interrupt you here so that I would benefit from a little bit of a summary of what you have done in the last few slides?
Okay.
Yeah, because I have also been out a little bit, and I need everybody's help to to help me understand maybe some things that may be missing from some of these talks, that I have not been able to receive, so to speak. Yeah. So never sliding Buddha is taken as an example. His attributes is to be taken as an example of how disciples of Master should emulate. Am I right? So I think his main point, I get that the main point is that he respects everybody equally, and that all of us, he has such a deep faith, reflecting a deep faith in a belief that the mind, Buddha, and the sentient beings are one with nature. So all of us, actually, essentially, at the end of the day, we all share the same true nature, right? So on this main belief, therefore, his method of cultivation, so we are there. Am I right, Sister Yvonne? So on this main attribute of never sliding Bodhisattva, his method of cultivation is something that we should follow, right?
Yes,
And the right path, yes. So,
yes.
So one of the first of his cultivation, of course, is to uphold, chant, recite, and expound the Lotus Sutra, because obviously all path to Buddhahood has to go through this path.
Right.
Right. And I don't know the story of the all the monastics and bhiksunis and whatever, makes me think that therefore we have been told that, okay, when we expound the sutra, or in our case as lay practitioners, when we share the Dharma in our case, that's right. So that's why we need to be very take cognizance of the fact of who we are sharing with, right? Because we want to share in a way that we do not cause the other party to slander the sutra as well. That's my feel when I see this, because I know that I also try to share Dharma with people, but sometimes like Brother Chin says, if we share them to people who are not ready and they slander, then Master already warned us earlier that we are just as guilty of making them slander the Lotus Sutra or whatever other sutras, because we did not recognize that they were not ready, and that we create a condition for them to slander it. So I am very careful about this, and I believe that this is actually what the first part of your presentation is teaching us, reminding us that these kind of things happen even with the best of intentions when we want to spread the Dharma. Yeah.
True, Sister Moon. Master have taught us that when we share Dharma, we must be observant, using the right wisdom that the people around us are ready to receive it. But if you go down, when you listen more, you understand why this never slightly Bodhisattva was being slandered, yet he will predict that everybody can become Buddha. So there's a reason behind it, and it's also because of causes and condition. So everything in this world arises because of causes and condition. Very good, you already anticipate this. So the mystery will unveil why did he still persist to share this prediction, although people slander him. Yeah, on the spot, Sister Moon.
Okay, thank you.
Right on, yeah, right on.
Okay. All right.
Shall I continue?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we move to topic 3, which is on the background and cultivation methods, which is a rhyme with what Sister Moon has, I think, anticipate in a way. Okay, come. So NSB, on the background altogether, there are 5 slides here. I try to But all these are being mentioned by our Master Teli. So NSB is also known as Sun Moon Lamp Buddha and King of Cloud Freedom Lamp Buddha. He expounded Lotus Sutra life after life to these 4 groups, which is the Bhikshus, Bhikuni, Upasaka, and Upasika. Therefore, he attains the purity of the 6 roots. When NSB expounds the sutra, he manifests such great and majestical experience, eloquence, and great tranquility that inspire all disbelievers to have faith in his teaching. Master especially clarified that the great power manifested does not refer to supernatural power, but refers to the sharpness of NSB mind and his deep states of concentration. Never slighting Bodhisattva is actually the past life of Sakyamuni Buddha. Buddha said, because NSB upholds, recites, chants, and expounds the Lotus Sutra in the past, that's why he could attain Buddhahood. The 4 groups who slander the sutra, hit, insulted, and chased NSB all descended to hell. For 20 million kalpas, they were not able to encounter the triple gems. And for those who are not aware, the triple gems are Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. So let us ponder. It backs to Sister Moon question. Why didn't NSB discern clearly the 4 groups' capabilities of understanding Dhamma before he gave praise and prostrate to them? If he hadn't prostrated or bestowed predictions that all of them could become Buddha, does it mean they wouldn't have slandered, hit, or scolded NSB and doesn't have to go to hell? In short, does it mean if NSB hasn't done what he did, all these people couldn't have ended in hell? Actually, the 4 groups are meant to descend to hell anyway due to their own arrogance, their past actions and habitual tendency, and not because they did not respect NSB. Because NSB knew they would descend to hell, the first thing needed to be done was to rid them of their arrogance by letting them suffer temporary punishment in hell. This was the intention, so that NSB could create a deep affinity with them beforehand, so that when they come out of hell, NSB would have the opportunity to teach and deliver them. So that is the intention behind why he still continue to give prediction, and not because that they will be descended to hell. It was mentioned that as long as we plant the root of great vehicle Dharma, we will not lose it, and our body nature can slowly be inspired. Although in between there is punishment, it is in fact a stepping stone for us to attain Buddhahood in the future. Okay, and even though Buddha is no longer here, we still need to uphold, read, recite, and chant and explain and spread Lotus Sutra. So why did NSB encounter such slanders and mistreatment from the people? So the other way around, yeah? So this is the significant point that Master has mentioned. It was actually due to NSB remaining back karma of the past. His retribution has not yet exhausted. That's why he was hit, scolded like that. However, such many adverse affinity are also existing conditions that expedite his attainment of Buddhahood. The key point for us to realize here is that as long as we are willing to endure unfavorable or bad affinities, we will garner greater strength from them. We need external condition as the nutrient, as one walk the Bodhisattva path. This is akin to the analogy that Master always said, lotus flower grow from the mud, right? Lotus flowers need the nutrient of the mud. So it's a similar analogy that has been given before, that we need external condition as the nutrient, as one walk the Bodhisattva path. Okay, now that we have an idea.
Sister Yvonne.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So coming to the point that never slighting Bodhisattva pay extra attention in addition to upholding the Lotus Sutra, he pays additional attention to ritual prayers and prostration. Why do you think that he pays special attention to ritual prayers and prostration? In my mind, of course, I think that it is relating to cultivating a good conduct. Yeah, because when you pay reverence to people, when you have a good, a respectful behavior, I suppose you will also encourage the same response from the party that you're paying respect to. I mean, in most cases, I think, so that you draw out the good part of the person. But if you are so respectful, normally the other person will be respectful in return. Am I right? And so it is like you're bouncing off all these good things of each other, and you're drawing all the goodness of people out. So then it may make them think of, my own behavior, my own bad habitual tendencies earlier bad habitual tendencies is really not attractive. It's really not nice. And look at how people, look at what he's doing and how humble he can be, and so on. Do you think that it is a measure of developing a good character? I don't know. I think I would invite all other brothers and sisters to give us their take. Sister Yvonne.
Yes, why not?
Yeah, because we want to share this. Yeah, not just you and me, but if some other brothers and sisters can put your how do I say, your feelings about what this means exactly to you, then maybe we can come to a realization that that is why it is important to have this prostration, for example. Yeah,
maybe is Brother Chin in the chat?
Brother Chin, do I see Brother Chin? Do we see Brother Chin in the chat? Are you there, Brother Chin? No. How about Sister Clapping? Are you there? I know you're walking, but
yes, I'm here. Good morning, brothers and sisters. Yeah, I think from my take is that you hold the three jewels, with the utmost reverence, because they are the source that will take us back to our true nature. So only when you can have the utmost respect and give them the utmost reverence will you be able to develop faith and trust, and then confidence in yourself. So that is my take of it. If you disregard, take the opposite of it. Instead of being respectful, you disregard. If that is the case, then you will never be able to find your right path back. Then you will never be able to develop faith and confidence. So I think that is the key teaching here. The first step towards walking the right path is to develop faith. And to develop faith, you must respect the tools, which is the Dharma, to lead us back. Yeah, that's what it is for me.
Okay, thank you so much, Miriam. Do we have any other brothers and sisters who can share something about this with us as well?
May I share, Sister Moon?
Yeah.
Hello, Sister Moon. So good to hear from you again. Stephanie here.
I'm happy to be here.
I just want to comment that this is such a wonderful session, and I love the way that it's conducted. Kudos to Sister Yvonne and Sister Moon. Okay, I'd like to just, I was listening in, I'm just preparing to go out for another activity, but I think for me, the gist of this practice of NSB, why we should emulate it, right? It's one of the most important parameters, one of the most important of the 6 parameters. And for me, which is, I think I take it upon myself to practice, perfect it this lifetime and many more lifetimes, is patience, or I think we can also say it's called endurance, right? And I think the key is that no matter what happens on the outside, right? No matter what we face, and what sort of negativity is hurled onto us, it is part of the karmic seeds that has manifested or ripened, right? So if we react we will continue to entangle the chain, continuously. But if we, like as Master would say, practice patience to the level of non-arising patience, you don't, meaning you swallow it and you process it as part of your practice. This is, I think, a way to strengthen this particular root, which is this patience. And in order to actually reduce our ego, because the ego reacts, and the more we react, it is the stronger the ego becomes, right? This is our way to hold on to the ego. But the moment we are like NSB, and I always love NSB, right? Because the deep faith that he has in everybody's innate true self, and his own innate true self, which is boundless, vast, and all-encompassing. Therefore, there is no reason to react. So this is a practice that I think why Masters say NSB, emulating NSB is so important, and the Lotus Sutra dedicates one whole chapter for him, because that is the past life of Yamuni Buddha. So if on the way to become a Buddha, this is the practice.
Yes, that's right, Sister Stephanie. On the way, on the right way, on the right way. Okay.
On the way.
Sister Stephanie.
Okay.
Sister Yvonne, wonderful session. I love it.
Thank you for the encouragement. Shall we continue, Sister Moon?
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, now that we have an idea of the cultivation method and background of NSB, so let us revise what are the important messages that Master wants to bring out of this chapter. So there's three. The essence of this chapter is to tell us that what are the merits we can attain from upholding the Lotus Sutra, and that he uses Buddha's personal experience as a never-slighting Bodhisattva in his past life as a true example, bestowing predictions of everyone that you can become Buddha to all the four groups, and NSB was able to attain purity of sixth root. So that's how NSB gave blessings to the four group even before they started cultivating Dharma. Okay, so one of the deepest impression from the chapter 20 that NSB gave us is that he practices great forbearance and diligence, as what Stephanie said just now, one of the 6 paramitas, and he was able to endure insults and physical abuse persistently. So this is really calling for forbearance. NSB has give faith, what Sister Kapeng said, that he and everyone else can become Buddha, because he believed that the mind, Buddha, and sentient beings are no different in their nature. Thus, he bowed and prostrated to everyone respectfully, despite being humiliated. He still enjoyed giving blessing to all, not afflicted, not attached to worldly things and people. That's the reason why he can attain the purity of the sixth root. So let's do a reflection. Do we really treat everyone and every living being around us equally? Do we take the phrase, the mind, and all sentient beings share the same nature as Buddha, to heart or in words only? So the time when Master Teli was giving a sermon, she says she often did not take it fully to heart. I think I'm the same. I'm still a very ordinary being. I also discriminate sometimes. And she confessed she still has discernment against people. She said, however, we master teaching, she often reminded herself that when she faces challenges, to see them as bodhisattvas or Buddha. But of course, it's easier said than done. So, but that's not the case of NSB. He really took Buddha's word to heart and implemented it in action. He treated everyone as equal and believed everyone has the pure innate Buddha nature. He praises everyone sincerely from the bottom of his heart. Master said, NSB is the exemplary practitioner of spiritual cultivation. So now, okay, so before I proceed to...
Sister Yvonne, yeah. I don't know when I interrupt you here again.
Okay.
You know the previous slide, can you show me the previous slide?
Okay.
Do we take the phrase, the mind and all sentient beings share the same nature as Buddha, to heart or in words? I used to think I've got a Buddha nature in me. You've got your Buddha nature in me, right? In you, and everybody else have their Buddha nature in them. But then there was, our Sister Kaping was pointing out to me that, no, you don't have your Buddha nature and I have my Buddha nature. There is only one Buddha nature, right? It's the same one and only one Buddha nature that everybody shares. We go back to only this one point. It's not yours, hers, his, mine. Is that correct, Sister Kaping? Are you online? Can you hear us, Sister Kaping?
Yes, I can. Yes, the
Yes.
true nature is all the same. And that's why that was the first, realization when, Sakyamuni Buddha attained enlightenment, that we can all go back to that source, and the source is the same for everybody. It is pure. It's just that over time, we have, because of that one thought of deviation, we have deviated from the path. So what is different, that differentiate between you and me, are all our different habitual tendencies. So some of us have got more anger, some of us have more greed and desires, and we are all equally deluded in different extent. But if you go back and peel off all of these afflictions and ignorance, we all go back to that same one source, that same one point. And I think that is the whole gist, the essence of the chapter on conjugate city, that source of light from the beginningless time that never diminish.
Wow.
Yeah, that's my take.
Right.
Wow. Awesome, Sister Kaping. Awakening moment for me also.
Yeah, I used to think it's my Buddha nature and your Buddha nature, Yeah. So that is the reason why, because there is only one Buddha nature, right? So that is the reason why I suppose that non-slighting Bodhisattva treats everybody the same. He sees them all as that one, with that one Buddha nature, and therefore he treats everybody equally. But it's very difficult to treat everybody equally. I think
it takes time. That's the reason why.
That's why even the monastics have to admit that they are still discerning sometimes. Am I right?
Yeah, I go back to Sister Stephanie about us practicing the 6 paramita. So actually, it's one of the element inside there.
That's right. Yeah, I have ever before somebody who was rejected for an interview because the interviewer didn't like his looks. He hasn't even had the time to understand and get to know the person. He just didn't like his looks. That is how extreme we can be in treating everybody not equally, And I think that we should really, those of us in Chichi at least, right, since we are having the privilege of understanding and studying the Dharma and practicing it, we should always give people the chance they can't help what they look, sometimes, right? You're born with that look. You can't help it, but that we should not allow that feeling to arise, to already discriminate based on that. And I find that in life, it's very important not to do that. And in reality, it's always being done like that. That is why you want to employ pretty girls to be saleswomen. She hasn't even uttered a word, but you want to see that she's pretty, because then the reality is that she opens more doors. So every day I see this not being treated equally right from the beginning. I have ever had my experience. Let me share with you an experience. A very beautiful girl, I think she must be a model. She came to see me, make an appointment, came to see me. She wanted to sell something. And I was telling myself, what is this model looking like girl sitting there, so perfectly groomed, making me feel like I'm really ugly. trying to sell me something, and I say, okay, fine, you can have, we will have another appointment, and you can bring your products to show me. And the second time, she never turned up at all. It was a guy who turned up to show me the products. She was just used to open doors. You know how wrong we can be sometimes, but in the real life, this happens, right? And I try to tell people that there is a difference between being well-groomed and being like, using a beautiful girl just to sell. And I have also sent ladies to consultants, and they call me and they said, thank you very much, Miss Tay. It's so nice of you to send me a nice girl early in the morning to talk to me, but I think she has not enough product knowledge. And it makes me feel so bad. And from that day on, I never do such things. Can't help if the girl is pretty and smart. It's good if you can get a pretty and smart girl or a handsome and smart boy. But that is our point, that in reality in life, these things happen all the time. Yeah. And so I think that at least as employers, we should not practice such things, that we should at least, when we interview people, we should at least listen to them, talk to them, and give people a chance, and not just, make our decisions based on what we see. Yeah. Yeah. That's my sharing on the realities of life when it comes to treating everyone equally. Yeah, Sister Yvonne.
I think Miss Tay, Sister Moon, I think it all that comes back down to what Master has always been telling us. Go into masses and form good affinities. So why do you think that everyone, have such great respect for Buddha, and when he's not even here today, we still hold him in such high regards? Is because lifetime after lifetime, he has been developing, great affinities, not just good affinities, right? And that is with a very pure intent that, he wants to go into masses and benefit everybody and lead everyone back onto the path of enlightenment. So I think, it is very difficult to say, yes, I cultivate not to discriminate against others, but it is very difficult when you walk into masses where, others starts to discriminate, right? So that is where we need the Buddha teaching to tell us what should we do in those circumstances. That, you still have got to accommodate, you still have got to be understanding what they're looking for, and then find the right method to position yourself to impress the others and to inspire and lead others. And I think that is really, key in trying to put these teachings into practice to inspire others. So, I have been on this mission to try to impress upon the corporates, right, in the corporate world, that vegetarianism is very, very important. But for so many months, I thought I'm talking to the wall, right, and no reaction. But, yesterday, somebody made my day. She's CFO of this company that I sit on the board. And she sent me these posters and say, vegan day on our next management lunch. And I was like, wow, finally she got something, right? And she texted me, she said, I really inspired her in one of those talks. So you never know, right, whom you are going to inspire, how you're going to develop good affinities, but the right intent has got to be there always in what we do and how we say things, in what we say. Yeah, that's my take. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Kaping. Very awesome. Yes, it's true. But when you have faith and keep on doing the good things and create good affinity, it will come around.
Yes. And for our own part, we have to be really working. It really takes hard work to tell yourself, okay, to stop these thoughts. These thoughts from arising, these discriminating thoughts from arising, and say, look, listen, we are all the same. Give everybody a chance. You have to work so hard at it to get to a point where you accept everybody more or less with a very open heart, and no preconceived impressions. Yeah.
Okay.
Continue? Or
Okay. So now I'm back to the element, share a bit of story. Why among the 6 paramita, patience or forbearance is very key. Just like what Sister Kaping shared just now. Perseverance and forbearance, and have your faith in doing the right things, and just keep on doing what is right and it will come around. Okay, so before proceeding to the details of the cultivation method, Master also shared that the chapter of NSP is also related to the chapter of Devadatta, because I hope if anybody who don't know Devadatta, later you can ask. Devadatta, because both chapters describe how we make use of adversity to progress in our spiritual cultivation. Devadatta has given many torments to Buddha in his past life of spiritual cultivation. For example, in one lifetime, he betrayed the Sangha group and left. And in another lifetime, he treated Buddha as slave. But Buddha was willing to lie facing to the ground to let him sit on his body like a bench. So despite these many evil tortures and intentional insults, Buddha harbors gratitude to Devadatta. Because of the adversity given by him, Buddha had the opportunity to cultivate himself, develop wisdom, and attain Buddhahood eventually. And Buddha still bestowed on Devadatta the prediction of Buddhahood. The pure land and longevity to be attained by Devadatta will be more dignified and wholesome than Buddha's 10 disciples. Isn't this like what you will be asking yourself? So most of us will be very perplexed as to why such an evil person could attain better fruits than other disciples. So Master said that's because he helped Buddha to expedite awakening by giving Buddha so much abuse. Therefore, we should thank those who give us challenges, because without tortures and suffering, how can we be tempered, our ego, into elevating our cultivation to a higher level, a higher consciousness? Yeah.
Yep. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
That reminds me, Sister Yvonne. Great forbearance, and this Devadatta challenges people who put challenges in your path. I think everybody meets these people, right? We always meet them. One way is to avoid them. Okay, if I meet a person that I don't like, or I meet this challenge, I get out of the situation and to avoid them. But if you are, let's say, working in a company, for example, or you are in a situation where you cannot avoid them, and that so you go around with a heavy heart, going to work every day, you know, oh dear, I have to face this person again, or it's worse if it is your boss, yeah, and just grit your teeth and get on with your life, and look for other avenues. So if we do not know the Dharma, then we really don't see these challenges as a way to better ourselves, and we don't see that we have to be thankful to the other person. On the contrary, right? On the contrary, you will be probably cursing him every day before you come to work, and thankful that you have that you know, it's a going home time. I remember when I was working in my first job. And younger days, my boss was like that. Everybody takes a turn, you know. This period, you are in cold storage. Another period, another person is in cold storage. But when you are in cold storage, it's very, the Chinese say, 好難忍, you know, means you are ignored. You are not in the circle. You're not told to do anything much. You are just left on your own. You basically does not need to communicate with him. And that feeling is a very terrible feeling. I only can say that maybe because at that time I know nothing about Dharma, wasn't in touch with Dharma, but maybe because I was already having Dharma inside me that I don't know about, I could endure it. I just endure it, and I just don't care about him, and I just did my thing. And no matter what he do, he couldn't touch me. So finally one day, he sat in front of me and he just told me, I do not understand you, you know, Moon. You're really one person who can withstand so much he didn't say the word abuse, but it stands so much mistreatment or something like that. And I told my boss straight in the face that, in my opinion, I have done nothing wrong. You have not told me I've done anything wrong. I've asked you if I've done anything wrong, because if I have and I didn't know about it, I am prepared to apologize and to say I'm sorry for whatever that I didn't know I've done. And today we agree that, and when we sit down, my colleagues tell me also that I should send a hamper to the boss, because he helped to build my character, he helped to build my resilience, and he helped to push me out of the company so that I today have my own company. How nice was that? It's all because he was part of this, part of my success. So I should see it that way. And of course, today we are all very good friends with this same boss he has changed, we have changed. And I think, I suppose a lot of people have met or come across such a situation. And I'm so happy to be able to reflect back on that situation today. And I see exactly that this is such a challenge, and that I feel thankful to him for what I have today. If it's not for him, I probably would have retired in a big company, and just be happy chugging along, and I don't have my own company today. So I don't know if anybody else have a nice story to share, with regards to people who put things in your path, and in thinking back, you have to thank them. Yeah. Is there anyone who would like to share a story like that? No?
Hi, it's me again.
Yes. Mr. Kabi would have a lot, because she's from the corporate sector.
I think it's similar. Apart from what you've gone through, my experience is that when you meet someone who is very difficult to you, you have got to then put yourself in the other person's shoes. And this comes from a real experience that, I thought when I left the bank, I don't have got to see this one person again, never have to deal with such difficult people. But you know what? Every corner I turn, and every other things that I do, that person seems to be there right in front of me. I can't shake that person off.
Your affinity lah.
Precisely. And then somebody else then come to me and say, hey, she's not just being difficult to you only, she's being difficult to everybody. So that it makes me realize that it is in this person's nature that this person is built that way. And this person that came to me and told me one thing, and that made me realize that she say, Kaping, go and give this person a hug. Then my immediate reaction is, why me? Why is it me? And then she said to me that because you are bigger than what you think you are. You have a very warm heart, and this person needs warmth. So go and give her a hug. But I didn't give her a hug, but it makes me realize that, it opens my eyes that, it's in this person's nature to be difficult. And hence I shouldn't be, so personal about things that she said to me or do. And in fact, I should therefore see how I could change things for the better for myself and for this other person. So I started to be open. I don't take things personally, reflect on things that, this person said to me. And instead of running away, courageously actually create opportunities to go out and, speak and perhaps do things together. And after a few years, I could say that, we are actually talking, not the best of friends, but, we are able to get together and talk. So I think, it comes back to what masters say, put yourself in others' shoes, reflect and change yourself, change our perception, change our mindset before you can change others. So I
Yes.
think, those are the good teachings that we all have got to keep in our mind, that, put ourselves in others' shoes.
Yes, that's right. But I suppose if you have given her the hug, then you would be surprised what could come out of that,
She probably think I'm mad.
It doesn't matter, but it could also melt the butter.
Yeah, skillful means.
I think, yeah, there's a brother, Chong, that want to say something.
Yes.
Yeah, good morning, brother and sister in the Dhamma. Wow, this is the first time I join your Saturday Dhamma sharing. So I see so many profound sisters in the Buddha Dhamma. So it just gives me what do you call, a lot of inspiration. And Sister Tay, your sharing on this, your ex-boss today, people say is our what do you call, our yan, something like that.
Benefactor.
So yeah, I think I would have a same very similar story, like that. I was thrown into a business at a very young age of 26.
Oh, that's young.
Just because my boss suspected me of corruption.
Okay.
So, and he told me that, I'm giving you a warning. But I told him that you tell me during the death of my father.
Oh,
the
dear.
day my father died, and he suspected me, so I feel a bit,
it's a double whammy there, right?
Anger.
Yes.
You have a lot of anger in you. Although I'm born Buddhist, practicing Buddhism, my parents are staunch Buddhists, so but I still have the anger, on that moment, I would say. So, I left with a resignation letter and then go back to my hometown and prepare my father's funeral.
Yes.
So it's such a difficult time, and then it's our anger. And then I went into a small business, and that's where I am today. After 40 years, after 34 years, indeed, from small. I grew, and I turned today, and I realized that yes, this guy, this manager that I worked with when I started work in the company, when I graduated, I graduated from college, follow him, and then he decided to become his own business. I followed him, and then he quarreled with the partner. I followed him, and then after 1.5 years, he said, "Oh, I heard you have done such a thing, and so we are not comfortable with that, and I'm giving you a very stern warning." I feel that if it is right, I don't mind to accept it, but it's wrong, so I feel so much of anger because I spent at least I very faithful and loyal to him from his the first office right up to his own business. So today I should feel a lot of gratitude on him. Every year I will reflect that he, because of him, I was thrown into a business out of the wall, and I climbed from there. I do good, I do bad also, and I do good again, I do bad again, things like that. So the up and down is there. So as the practitioner, I think the patience in everybody mindset is very important. The perseverance and the resilience in us, in our mind, also very important. All this Buddha's teaching as I go along, it helps me in my life. The up and down is also, and 6 years ago, I have a very big fall again. And I was very calm. And I went to a EGM, and I was just voted out from the board. I lost my job overnight as a managing director of the company. So many people feel so pitiful on me, or people put me a lot of what they call wisdom words, or what encouragement. But I'm very calm. I'm calm because I've gone through the ups and downs, and I believe that this is probably the last one that I'm going to be. And as today I'm still okay. I'm not suffering. Family is good. My children all graduated, and they are happy. So
Yes.
I should be happy and should be grateful for whatever happens. So, Sister Moon, it's a good reflection that today you share about, and it's reflect my last 34 years when this manager or this boss of mine, who
Yeah.
used that to, I mean, I'm not saying he used, or maybe he feel that, so that create a bit of anger in me that I make a decision. So whether the decision is right or wrong, after 34, I'm still in business.
Yes, that's right. I think yeah. Yeah. I think, Brother Lim, you know, the fact that you're calm now, it's just like me. I feel that, you know, today, whatever things that fail, I'm still calm. Those days I would be so upset, you know, what did I do? Why didn't I do something right? What did I do wrong? But today I'm very calm and I accept. It means that, it means that we have learned something. I think at least we have learned something. And the fact that we forgive, I think we forgive. I'm good friends with my boss now. I'm going to buy him a makan after this MCO thing together with all my colleagues. I don't think I'm going to tell him I forgive you, but I'm going to buy him a makan and thank him for being a good boss, you know. So yeah, let's just forgive all these people, and the fact that we can stay calm in terms of a bad situation, and to be able to let go and forgive all those people. We are in a good way, I think. We have the lessons have got into us. Kanan. Yeah.
So Kanan, Kaping, Sister Kaping, Brother Lim, and Sister Moon. Actually, all your sharing remind me of the before I know Dharma, I'm also very afflicted by the challenges surrounding. I was glad during the pandemic, the upside for me was learning Dharma. So I summarize this in 3 points I learned from Brother Chin. If all of us believe in law of karma, there are 3 things we need to accept. It means we are here because our karmic debt. We need to accept our karmic debt.
Yes.
We need to fulfill our karmic responsibility and the karmic lessons. From the 3 description by all of you, I would like to align it to karmic lesson, because in the karmic lesson, the karmic lessons that we need to go through are actually the 6 paramita, how we learn to be very patient, giving, being forgiving, generosity and so forth. So truthfully, when we are here, all of us have karmic affinity. It doesn't run away from the 3 things: fulfilling your karmic responsibility, learn your karmic lesson, and also accept your karmic debt. Then your mind and heart will be in harmony. So that was the greatest learning for me in the last 2 years for listening to Master WAD. So we shall continue back on NSB.
Yes.
Okay. So now let's dive into what Master explanation, why NSB's method is as such. So Master said, why did NSB bow and give praises to everyone he come across? That's because NSB only see goods in people. And those who admonish him were all good people with Buddha nature. That is his faith and belief. And akin to what Diamond Sutra say, practice no appearances of self. Don't take things personal. Others, living beings or life, do not distance against any forms and appearances. No discrimination. Treat all with equanimity. This can only be achieved with supreme wisdom. Yes, it takes mindfulness to practice this, to see goodness in everyone. Master also said, the Lotus Sutra, which has 28 chapters, contains both the teachings on the manifest and the teachings on the intrinsic. The great Dharma Master Teacher denotes the teaching of Lotus Sutra into 2 parts. The first 14 chapters are the teachings on the manifest. It means skillful means or provisional teachings. This one relates to the capacity, the various capacity of sentient beings. And the last 14 chapters are the teachings on the intrinsic. It means true Dharma teachings, the one vehicle, the Bodhisattva part. And the Dharma door of the teachings on the manifest contain worldly matters, and Buddha uses them as an analogies. Buddha uses matters and appearance to reveal true principle. This is because for us to enable us to relate easier to understand, because we see all things in forms as ordinary beings. And then the Dharma door on teachings of the intrinsic contain true principle. It means to return all worldly matters to the state of Buddha nature. And entering this Dharma door is straightforward. It tells us directly the cultivation method, and it takes perseverance to practice it. It's as simple as taking Dharma to heart, go into the masses, Master always said in WAD, and teaching according to sentient beings' capability, what Sister Moon has said earlier. And to attain Buddhahood, the Dharma door of intrinsic teaching is the most basic method. And in the Sutra of Infinite Meaning, this method is called Bodhisattva path, which all of us are doing if you are in Suchi platform. And Master said, with a respectful heart, we should emulate how NSB cultivates. That is, by treating everyone equally as we enter the masses. Respect and give praise to everyone sincerely, the keyword, sincerely. Such is the principle of how we should interact with people. And before attaining Buddhahood, very key, and reaffirm what Sister Kaping was saying just now, we must first create good affinities with everyone. Do not carry any more bad karma to the future. Seize the moment to create good affinities with everyone. And NSB, despite being insulted or berated by people, we also follow, must accept willingly and communicate harmoniously with them. Don't take issue with people, but smile. I don't think it's easy, but this is what we strive to do. Okay, so such is how NSB was unswayed by adversity, creating good affinities so that he can deliver them in future. So without external conditions, we cannot be inspired people. We cannot be inspired despite having intrinsic nature within us. So we must always be mindful not to be afflicted by these challenges. Also, besides practicing diligence and forbearance, part of the 6 paramita, NSB sees everyone as Buddha instead of sentient beings. Another main attribute of NSB is that his attitude of never giving up. No matter how people mistreated him, he still carries good affinities with them and wants and awaits the maturity of condition to deliver them life after life. No one should be left out. That's his intention. And our New Year blessing greeting last year was be grateful and respect all life with love. Live in harmony, and together we create blessings and good affinity. This is exactly what NSB upholds and practices. And then we ask ourselves, how not to be afflicted? This is the key. That is by playing the role of Bodhisattva acting on the stage when handling people and really matters. And I truly believe, in our life, it's actually all of us are just playing a role. We are all actors and actresses in the Saha world. Like how NSB said, I dare not slight any one of you because you will become Buddha. NSB was careful to cut every arising thought in his mind and consciousness, for every deluded thought will give rise to 3 subtleties. That means the point, the greed, the anger, and ignorance, and lead to actions that create 12 links of cyclical existence. Master always said, one single deviated thought will kickstart the 12th link. So all of us must be very mindful and safeguard our thoughts. Make sure that is wholesome most of the time. Okay, another main point in this chapter is that whoever listens to Buddha's name would sow the seed of one vehicle Dharma, or whoever listens to Lotus Sutra is bound to become Buddha. Just like how NSB has sown the seed of Dharma in those who insulted him, though their affinities was not mature at the time, the seeds in them remain. Lotus Sutra teachings are very broad-hearted. No matter who offended me, it is okay. There's no one I don't forgive. Like what Moon said, learn to forgive. Such is the essence of great vehicle Dharma. This is a question I think in most of our mind. Do you think NSB is too kind to endure everything and that he has no personality as well? Some people might say, this person has no character or personality at all. He is an overly good-tempered person. But then Master said, having no self is also a weakness. We should maintain our character according to the middle path. It means we still have our own personality, but practice according to the true Dharma teaching. And understanding true principles and liberate ourselves spiritually, but still maintain our personality. It doesn't mean that we have to endure everything, but we learn to discern with wisdom. Okay, Sister Moon, something on your mind?
So this is rather interesting. So does it mean that, okay, we can still keep our own personality, right? Because like you say, you know, when they're so kind, people may just take advantage and bully you or push you around, you know, and on the other side of the person, they will say, oh, you are, you know, you have no personality. So we basically do what we like. He's okay with everything one. She's okay with everything one. Does it mean that, this is very interesting. This is very interesting part of the discussion I find, because the how do you balance keeping your personality with still keeping all the attributes of a never sliding bodhisattva. So yes, it's a very fine balance, right?
Master has said spiritual cultivation is nothing other than correcting your habitual tendencies and taming your mind. And Master also have shared analogy. You know, you say about finding balance is very true. For those who know how to play guitar, right? When the string is too loose, there's no music that coming out. When the string is too tight, when you play it, you broke, right? So you must fine-tune your the string until such that beautiful music come out. So that's the balance that Master is trying to say. Practice middle part, finding your way and still maintain the principle of Buddha teaching.
Yeah. Okay.
Shall we continue or how?
Is there somebody who would like to? Is there any brothers and sisters who would like to comment on this particular portion? I mean, I know that it's not an easy balance, you know. Especially if you have a strong personality. Am I right, Yvonne, Sister Yvonne? Huh?
Yes, that's precisely the two keywords that Master summarized about spiritual cultivation. Correcting our habitual tendencies. We have to be self-aware whether we are very egoistic type or, you know, and taming our mind. Because our mind is full of emotion, whether anger or arrogance. That's the part that practice self-awareness is very key, the contemplation part.
Okay. What comes to mind at this moment with this, I think of Xi Jinping, you know. He seems to be so calm. He seems to take actions that is really for the good of his people and the state. But yet he has to take action, he takes action, you know. So you cannot say that he is not strong, but neither can you say that he is aggressive, you know, that kind of thing. I know.
So this is the balance we need to strike.
Yes,
not easy.
So it seems to be a very good balance. Seems to be a very good balance there. Okay.
Yeah, actually, Sister Moon, I thought of Master herself. Look at how selfless she is. She is all inspiring. But at the same time, you know, she is full of character. She's strong. She's very determined. She's very persistent. She's very diligent. She never, you know, deviate from her very first vow.
And stricter.
And yet she is stern, right? So I think it is all in the way you carry yourself. You know, you can be kind and you can be stern at the same time. So the person, you know, when Sister Yvonne described that, the first person that came into my mind is Master herself, right? She is, you look at the way she walks, she is so gentle. It's like as if she's floating, but you know, beneath that gentleness is the strength that I've not seen in anybody else. And in that media taboo, you know, that she went through in 2015, she handled it so well. You know, she didn't use, you know, an eye for an eye, but it was her gentleness that breaks down all those accusations. Let none of that has ground to stand on. So I think that those are the qualities that we see in, you know, the kind, gentle, and selflessness in Master herself.
True. Yes. Yes, her gentleness, do not let her gentleness let you think that she's not strong. Huh? Mm.
Okay, thank you, sister.
Good morning, Jenny
Okay.
here. Hi, Yvonne.
Hey, hey.
So I'm not sure why this question arises. Being kind, why we say there's no personality? Being kind is a good personality. So I'm not sure this question, when we put this question, it's like, how should we answer it? So to me, it's just like Kapil has said that Master herself is so kind, and yet she is so perseverant with so many things. That's why the Suchi world has extended to such a big scale now. So being kind itself is also a good personality. So I'm not sure that when this question is asked, it's like when we endure something, then doesn't mean that we have no personality. But I think when we are kind, it's also a personality. It's a personality of its own. Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Thank you.
But Aaron, yeah, agree.
Yeah. So we have to learn how to be kind and strong. Yes.
Yep. Inner strength.
Yes.
The forbearance, bearing the role of the forbearance.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, we are quite near to our end. Another 2 pages to go.
Yes. Okay.
All right. So the next one. So Buddha teaches us how to transform a deluded life into a clear path with the right Dharma. And in the Sutra of Infinite Meaning, it is said that true Dharma can heal the damage and rotten roots to repletion. Master says, if one suffers eye disease, of course, he needs to be sent to the hospital for medical treatment. This is the analogy to tell us that it is our mind that is rotten, and our spiritual purity is tainted with defilements, not our actual physical body. So we need to take good care of our mind, action, and speech, the threefold karma, by manifesting and cultivating Dharma in the masses. So this is quite interesting. Before every Buddha enters parinirvana, they would expound Lotus Sutra and teach the Bodhisattva way. And after Sun, Moon, Lamb Buddha left, wondrous light Bodhisattva continued to expound Lotus Sutra. When the great unhindered superior Buddha left, the 16 princes continued to expound Lotus Sutra. And after the majestic wise king Buddha left, never slighting Bodhisattva also expanded the Lotus Sutra. So Buddha uses these 3 examples to emphasize that Buddha's last wish was to teach Lotus Sutra. So Bodhisattva should aspire great vows to propagate wondrous Lotus Sutra life after life. And wondrous like Bodhisattva, the 16 princes, and never citing Bodhisattva are actually the same person. They are the past life of Sakyamuni Buddha. And we come to the key takeaways of our chapter 20. Okay, so what is the main learning from the chapter of never slighting Bodhisattva? Spiritual cultivation does not apply only to monastic practitioner, but also to every one of us. Spiritual cultivation means to correct our habitual tendencies and practice right conduct. Monastic and lay practitioners practice the same except they uphold different precepts. For example, like us ordinary being, we might know about the 5 precepts, and in Suchi, we have the 10 precepts. Emulate the spirit of cultivation in never slighting Bodhisattva, and every Buddha expound the Lotus Sutra before they enter parinirvana. And have faith, by listening to Buddha's name, we sow the seed of one vehicle Dharma. And I would like to leave these 3 questions with all of you. Have you ever wondered why you are born in this era, this time period? Is there a purpose to it? And how is that you are able to encounter Suchi? With this, I end my sharing today. Kan'en Omitofo, Om Mani Padme Hum. May all of you be blessed and stay safe. I pass back.
So yes. Okay. So Sister Yvonne, may I just end it by saying that I find for myself, the more I know, the more I listen, the more I learn, the harder it seems, and the further it seems sometimes I get from the final destination. But I tell myself, if just by the utterance of Amitabha, by the man who was chased by the tiger, If he just can say that, and he will be saved, then I think we are safe, and that we just have to be diligent and never leave the path. That's all. Yeah.
I just saw Brother Chin. Brother Chin, can we hear a bit from you, Brother Chin? Just now we were looking for you. Why?
Yeah, see what the honor should go to the carping.
No, just now the question on the prostration also.
Yes.
What was the question on prostration?
Sister Moon, would you want to just repeat that?
Oh, no, I was just saying that, the never sliding Buddha, he pays special attention to the rituals, prayer rituals and prostration. So I was just saying that, is it because it develops conduct, and the respectful nature?
Okay. Prostration, when we bow to anybody that you see, and I try to practice that, is to practice within you humility. So if you want to grow the mind, you need to grow the nobility of the mind. Nobility of the mind means benevolence, and benevolence means you got to show to put the interest of someone ahead of yours, and that's what it should be, because otherwise we will always think that you got to remind ourselves that somebody else is greater than you, and that's the reason why you see a lot of practitioners that put the palms together and they would bow. But obviously, I'm mindful that in Malaysia, when I put my palms together, my Christian friends don't quite take it very well, so I don't do that. But I do acknowledge them. But in all my, obviously within all my Buddhist friends, I do that myself. Very good sharing, Yvonne. And some provoking questions as well.
Yeah. So we hand back over the Brother Chin. We hand back the platform over to Sister Siu Ching.
Wow, so amazing. Actually, in fact, I'm caught by surprise. I was thinking, why halfway while Sister Yvonne was sharing, why Sister would come in? Well, indeed, I resonate closely with Sister Stephanie and many, I'm sure all the brothers and sisters also share the same thought. This is so nice, so interactive. Brother Joe said how he wished to join us, but because he is in a meeting, I think the medical one functions, there are a lot of number crunching things, apparently. So he can't afford to take leave and join us, but now he will listen to the recording. Very grateful to okay, brothers and sisters, if anyone have any words to share, else we will close the session today. Very awesome. Okay, brothers and sisters, imagine Sister Yvonne, this is her first mission under this Pure Heart Self Story. So anyone, this is open to anyone. Look at it, the topic that Sister Yvonne is sharing is from one of the both masters sharing at 7 o'clock. We have the video and we have the transcript, English transcript. All we need to know to do is to just make a summary, and we are very grateful to have our awesome Sister Moon. And of course, we have many brothers and sisters, Sister Kapeng, Sister Brother Chin, and many others are all to tag along and join us in this interactive session. Please, anyone interested, please just PM us. Very kind. Okay, that
this full transcript today one is done by Sister Wu. Is exactly word from her translation of Sister Master Tele. So if anyone wish to know about this transcript we have in our storage, you can join us. You can just pick any articles or any day's transcript and just ping Sister Siu Ching that you want to do the sharing.
感恩, wow, really 感恩, so 感恩. Okay, how? Let us invite. Actually, I was thinking to ask Brother Chin, then luckily you all called Brother Chin already. Okay, to lead us in paying homage to Sangren and Buddha. We end the session today. First bow, second bow, and third bow. Okay, 感恩, brothers and sisters. Maybe let's take a group picture. 感恩, this is truly memorable. Yeah, but never sliding Bodhisattva. Wow, okay. The last one on whether the person has character or not. It's always like so giving. It reminded me of, I don't know, somehow it's also office experience. We have one head leader. A lot of people dislike that person. So a lot of people started to boycott this person and asked me to join them in ignore this person, then I was thinking I cannot. Because in Tzu Chi Master always asks us to 结好缘, even if we don't want to create good affinity, we also don't want to create bad affinity. So I disagree in doing that. I said, no. That put a lot of 精师语, like, a lot of things aphorism about giving about speaking kind words, not to give anger. That is is like punishing ourselves with this what giving rise to anger is like brief insanity. All these I just put the 精师语, and every time they come to my cubicle, they will I didn't say anything. They know that I'm not with them. In fact, they were thinking like once we move to the new office, put me at the far corner. They say I'm like a standalone island. But wow, the things aphorism is very powerful. So as my colleague, I think they also find it's not useful to boycott a person. They also find it very, they always, I think as we say a lot of bad words, it will come back to us. So later they approach me, and I tell them that we are punishing ourselves. The first person to hear all these bad words is ourselves. So they also agree, and I asked them to take the things aphorism. Every time they choose it's the right one. What happened is that then they themselves initiated a bamboo coin. Bamboo coin in a way that whoever talk bad about this person, so-called person they want to boycott, they have to pay 1 ringgit. And so because of paying this, so everyone started, later they stopped doing it, and they adopted things aphorism. So you see, master's teaching is so powerful. So in fact, it is true. It's not like we don't have this principle, but what we are having is the right principle, middle path. Definitely doing kindness is never wrong, and uphold the 3 purity: the mind, the speech, and the actions. So don't give up, even though you are like being obstructed, like pushed to one side. So long you are doing the right thing, sooner or later. So today I noticed my colleagues, sometimes even if they face any challenges or obstacle towards people matter, especially, they will take back the bamboo coin and they will use it again. Even to the new stuff. Wow, I'm so amazed. Okay, with that, very kind. I think the picture is taken. Okay, see everyone next week, and stay safe, take good care. Hey,感恩, wow, Sister Yvonne Moon and Cupping and Sister Brother Chin, all these on all the comments. Brother, Sister, everyone take care, stay safe.感恩.
Everyone, stay safe.